I am Ross Hawkins, Director of the Academic Advising and Transfer Center here at Missouri State University. This advisor forum was coordinated by the Transfer Advising Committee, and today we're going to have the opportunity to hear from individuals from Missouri State Outreach. Our panelists will consist of Melissa Warren, who's the Director of Interactive Video and Off-Campus Programs, Larry Nichols, our Regional Outreach Administrator for the Southwest region, Gib Adkins, our Regional Outreach Administrator for the Central region, Deanna Smith, our Regional Outreach Administrator for the Southeast region. So thank you all for joining us today, and I'm going to turn it over to Melissa.
Thanks, Ross. Hi, everyone. I am Melissa Warren, and I am the Director of Off-Campus Programs here in the Office of Access and Outreach. My lovely guest is Jamie Ross, Director of Adult Student Services. And I am going to just give a real brief overview of the Office of Outreach as a whole, so you know kind of who we are and what various units we have within our department. And then I will turn it over to the regional administrators to discuss their work a little bit more in detail on the various community college campuses. So let me, okay, so this is me. In the Office of Access and Outreach, we are under the director and leadership of Joy Norris, Associate Provost for Access and Outreach. Susan Blades is her executive assistant and kind of keeps us all on track. And then we have a number of units or departments within Outreach. First of which is the Office of Adult Student Services. That is Jamie Ross's area. We also have the dual credit department, the off-campus department, and we're the ones here today. They're going to speak with you a little bit further. We have the director of online and distance education policy. We also have a dedicated marketing and promotions department within Outreach, and they help all of us working in alternative pathways promote these programs and pathways to the end users. And then we have a non-credit department as well. And I'll go into these in a little bit more detail. First of all, the Office of Adult Student Services, Director Jamie Ross, and she also has John Hall, who is a transfer advisor and does a really good job working with non-traditional students, and Tara Breesy, who is she helps us out in off-campus as well, but she helps a lot with registration services, budgets, those kind of things, all administrative work for adult student services. So this is their team. And basically they provide advising services to both adults and non-traditional student populations. So anybody 22 and over is pretty much your 22 and over is in their age group. Also parents, even if they happen to be younger, veterans, those kind of things, can all utilize the Office of Adult Student Services. They also oversee and administer the MSU 62 program that allows senior citizens to come and take courses for free, one course per semester. And they take care of all the registration and processing of that. They process the non-degree seeking registration. This could be visiting students from another campus, or perhaps a student that just couldn't be admitted just yet. They process all of those, and also like special courses if they had like a special 2-day session course or something like that. Registration services also does that. Another big thing that they have taken on is the 2+2 plan creations. I'm sure probably a lot of you have started to work with those, but Jamie, Tara, John all do a really good job building those from the ground up and take care of posting them, getting them approved, keeping them accurate. And then finally, they administer the Return to Learn scholarship here in this office as well. And that's for students who are 25 years or older and returning after a 3-year absence. And since I've got Jamie here, I thought I'd give you a chance to see if there's anything I missed that you'd like to add to that.
No, you pretty much covered it. The 2+2 plan creation, since that was mentioned in the forum description, there is a web page for the 2+2 plans that you can visit. If you type in 2+2 in the search bar of Missouri State's homepage, you can go and view all the current 2+2 plans that have been approved by both the two-year institutions and Missouri State. And those go through different levels of approvals. The department heads review them, advisors, and then our contacts at the community colleges review those before they get posted. So if you want to review those, you can go ahead and pop on over there. And if anyone has questions about 2+2 plans, feel free to reach out to me after the forum. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, Jamie. As I mentioned, also in our office is Missouri State Online, and they just kind of provide leadership direction, set the policy for online courses. You know, the academic departments kind of administer their online programs, but they do set policy and also provide support, technical support for instructors teaching online, Blackboard support, evaluation toolkit online for online courses. They also do the new online video courses, and these are similar to what used to be iCourses, but they've kind of been rebranded. They're video lecture classes, heavy lecture, delivered in an online format. And they also administer and process the online course development stipends. So if a department is looking to develop a few courses online, hopefully to move towards developing an online degree program, they have financial support and assistance for academic departments looking to develop new classes online. And then lastly, they do awards and recognition for faculty teaching online, both the Certified Distance Educator and the MOCRA Awards, which just recognize excellence in online teaching. And Rich Schultz has been with us an awful long time. He primarily does video production. So if anybody is developing one of those lecture heavy online video courses, Rich does all the producing of those videos and makes them look really, really great for prolonged use. Dee Armstrong is the administrative assistant in Missouri State Online, and we are currently in the process of doing a search to hire a new director of online. So hopefully we will have somebody in place there soon. We also have the dual credit department in our office, and as you can see, the team there, Scott Jones is the director of online, and I'm sorry, of dual credit, and Stephanie is the associate director, and then Melissa Tollison and Nikki Yost do a lot of administrative support to keep them going. So they provide dual credit for high school students. They are really growing at a phenomenal rate and doing a really good job over there. Currently, they have over 160 high schools that they're working with in Missouri to provide dual credit through Missouri State. They are offering 94 unique different course titles, course codes through dual credit to the different 160 high schools. And they also provide a couple of scholarships over there, which are really great for the students and also great recruiting for us here at Missouri State. They have a free and reduced lunch scholarship, which allows students who are eligible in K through 12, the free and reduced lunch set by the state, to receive, I believe, 6 hours of dual credit for free each semester, and that's an automatic scholarship if they qualify. And then they do also have another scholarship called the Advantage Scholarship, and what that does is it encourages those students who took dual credit through Missouri State to later come here and pursue a degree. So if a student had 9 hours of dual credit through Missouri State and I think a 3.25 GPA in those classes, they can get $1,000 a semester to transfer here to Missouri State as a degree seeking student after they graduate high school. And then lastly, we have the non-credit department. Cody Brewington does non-credit continuing education for a lot of professional development, those that require continuing education hours for licensureship. He runs the Public Safety Training Center in Camdenton, where we offer a great deal of continuing education courses and options for police officers in that area. He also does test prep courses like GRE and GMAT test prep, those kind of things. And Belinda Pearson primarily does conference services. So she helps city clerks do schedule and event planning for conferences. And then lastly, as I mentioned, we have our own dedicated, we are very, very blessed to have our own dedicated marketing and promotions department here. And they help us get the word out about all these alternative pathways, whether they be off campus, whether they be off online. They help us do social media, brochures, e-blast, all of those things that help recruit students into these alternative pathways. And then there's us, the lovely group you see today. We oversee off-campus degree completion programs. So what we do is we partner with community colleges in the area. We are generally physically located on the community college campus, and we provide pathways for students to get years 3 and 4 after completing their associate's degree, where they can stay at their local campus and complete a bachelor's degree on the community college campus. We also help with web conference courses or Zoom courses. And right now we have 9 different satellite campuses where we have undergraduate students pursuing their bachelor's degree. And I've got a little map here where you can just kind of see where we're located. We are set up by regions, and you'll hear from each of the regional administrators. And these are the campuses where we currently are offering degree completion. And I just grabbed a few pictures of our operations and some of our buildings that we have campuses at. And you can see we actually co-brand, and we have our own students there. They're wearing their bearwear, they have their boomer cut out and all of that. So they really are a part of this university, just on another campus. And I think that's about all the time I have. I am going to go ahead and pass this over to Larry, who is going to share about his area. And Larry, are you going to cover the possible internet problems?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. All right. Can you see my screen okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you, Melissa. My name is Larry Nichols. I'm the Southwest Regional Outreach Administrator. Before we get started, I will note that I'm working from home today because my office is at Crowder College, which is in fall break right now, which means their building is locked up and I can't get to my office. So I'm having to work from home. I live in the wilds of Barton County, Missouri. My internet comes through a phone on top of the table lamp behind my head, which is very unreliable. So should I get cut off, Melissa has a movie because I recorded this presentation. She'll try to pick up where you left off. You'll get Larry in a can instead of the live Larry, but we will try to power through. So having said that, I just want to introduce a little bit about my region and then what's unique about it and what I do out here, and maybe how we can assist folks that are working with students coming from our community college partner campuses, basically. So as we said, I'm in the Southwest region. And basically what that consists of is a strip more or less 2 counties wide going from Arkansas almost to the Kansas City area. Is what I kind of see as my territory. And I have 4 different campuses. I apologize, the colors are a little bit odd in this map, but I was trying to show where my different campuses are. We have Cassville, Neosho, which is the actual main campus of Crowder College, Webb City, which is a suburb of Joplin, and then up in Nevada. All of these are Crowder College locations where we're co-located, and we have degree completion programs at all 4 of these sites. And so we work with students coming to those sites from a broad area, which is what these circles represent. We work with students coming up from Arkansas to attend in Neosho and Cassville, students coming over from Oklahoma and Kansas also. The students that we work with up in the Nevada area, some of them live in Bates County, which is really in exurbs of the Kansas City metropolitan area. So we really do have a vast area that we cover. And so I try to provide services to students throughout this area that are interested in transferring to Missouri State, either for my particular programs that we offer off campus or just coming to the main campus as well. And so we provide a number of services that we'll look at here in a moment. Some things about our partnership with Crowder College, and we are co-located with their campuses. And so as Melissa alluded to, many students come to Crowder for their first 2 years, but then they have the option of staying at that campus and becoming Missouri State students for their junior and senior years and finishing a bachelor's degree through Missouri State without ever coming to Springfield. And managing those programs is the bulk of what I do. I want to talk a little bit about our partner institution, Crowder College. And their territory is on this map of the community college districts. The dark blue area is their service region. The little area in the gray is their taxing district, kind of their home territory, but they cover a much larger area, kind of basically overlaps what I cover with the Southwest region. It includes the Joplin metropolitan area. However, overwhelmingly, it's a rural area. Very high levels of Pell eligibility among Crowder students, very high levels of first-gen college students. We have large minority populations, large Hispanic population. Some of our employers down in the McDonald County area on the Arkansas border have recruited folks of various different ethnic backgrounds that can work in their plants and factories. We have Hmong, we have Micronesians, we have Somalis, we have all kinds of different interesting groups to work with. And so Crowder is trying to serve all of those people. And if you look at the percentage of the population with college degrees, it is abysmal in this area by and large, kind of think Appalachia. So Crowder is providing a very vital service for reaching out to these folks, and many of whom could not have made it at a 4-year institution if they had showed up as freshmen, but they can come to Crowder and put in 2 years, and then we can get them for the second 2 years. And so it's really been very rewarding to work with Crowder and for transfer students. So a little about Crowder College, and the population of Crowder overall fluctuates greatly. Like any community college, they are inversely proportional to the macroeconomic climate. So when it's easy to find a job, people go get a job, they don't come to college. When they can't find a job, they go back to school. And so right now with the hot job market, Crowder has been down for a while in student count like many other community colleges. At one point, they were about 5,500 students. During the Great Recession, now they're down to about 4,000. And that includes a number of dual credit students too. So full-time students is less than that. The main Neosho campus, which is 1 county south of Joplin, has 1,200 students or so. And that's where my office is located on the main Crowder campus. And then the Cassville site has about 200 students, and that we have an outreach site there as well. There's a McDonald County site, which sits right on the Arkansas border, which has about 150 students. The Nevada site has about 160. We also have an outreach site there. And we just opened an outreach site over the summer in Webb City, which was a really big deal for us. That's a suburb of Joplin. So it's a branch campus of Crowder, but it's in the major metropolitan area that we have in the service region. And so there are about 460 students there, and we now have a presence there as well, which we're very happy about. And they do have a site in the city proper of Joplin, but they try to stay out of Missouri Southern State University's way and not offer gen ed classes there. That's just some technical programs basically there. So that's kind of an overview of the college. So they branched out from their Neosho campus to serve their more far-flung areas with these branch campuses, and we've kind of followed that footprint too. I've been doing this since 2008. And we started off on the Neosho main campus, and we've just kind of slowly expanded to these different Crowder campuses to bring our opportunities to as many Crowder students as we possibly can, just by bringing them to Crowder branch campuses over the years. So looking at Crowder students, I got this data from Crowder, talking about what the most popular majors are for their students. And they have, in their numbers, they have 26% or those are dual credit students. And so you look at the total unique head count, and many of those are going to be dual credit. So but the most popular major, like probably any community college, is general studies. And so it's really hard to tell what those students are going to go do. And they don't know much of the time until they graduate. And so we have a large population of them. Nursing and pre-nursing is really the most popular specific major. Many of those pre-nursing students won't make it in the nursing program, and they'll go do something else. Teacher education, though, is a big one. And we tap into that with our outreach programs, offering an elementary education completion program. Business administration, is very popular too. And then after that, you start to get into the 1% and 2%. So it's kind of hard to figure out, you know, any bigger population of students, kind of because it depends on what those general study students are going to do. But we try to tap into, with our outreach program, some of those bigger markets. So most of my job is administering our off-campus outreach programs. And right now we have two, and this has changed dramatically since I started my job almost 14 years ago. We used to have mostly graduate programs in my region, and then we started adding undergraduate programs. The graduate programs have gradually gone online. And so I spend most of my time working with two undergraduate programs now, and we just kind of adapt to student needs and kind of adapt to a changing marketplace. So what it'll be in 10 years from now, I have absolutely no idea. But right now, we're offering what students want in those areas that I think is very beneficial. We have an elementary education completion program, so students can stay there for 4 years, 2 years at Crowder, then 2 more years with us, get a Bachelor of Science in Elementary Education from Missouri State University. We also have programs in agriculture, and we'll look at those in slightly more detail here. And so a lot of my job is just making sure these programs are on track, that I recruit students, I make sure we have classes on the schedule, you know, the light bill gets paid, you know, all of that stuff that we need to do to offer these courses, which are seated in my Southwest region here. The elementary education program is by far my biggest program. We start a group of students every summer. It's a cohort program. They take all their classes together, move through this at the same speed, graduating in 2 years. We start a cohort of around 30 students every summer. And so we have 2 cohorts running all the time. So I have around 60 students, more or less, all the time that's in this program. This has been a really wonderful program. We had our first graduates in 2009, and we've had graduates every year since. And for many students, especially that can't leave home, that can't relocate, that can't commute even to pay the gas to get to a university campus, it's been life-changing. It's changed the destinies of their whole family when they can get out of poverty and start a promising new career. And we've gotten some really wonderful people out there teaching that maybe couldn't have gotten a classroom of their own without our program. So I'm very proud of the work that we've done there. And so the way that it works, we work with Crowder students to make sure that they get their gen eds from Crowder, as well as their lower division education courses. I have a prerequisite check sheet that I go through with them, and that I've distributed to Crowder advisors to make sure that they have their students kind of on track to enter our program in the summertime when we take new students. And they will take one summer class and then have a full load fall, spring, the following fall, and they'll do a spring of student teaching, and then they'll be done. And so they get through basically in the same speed that they would normally. We have classes 2 days a week for the bulk of the program, which is great for our students who have families or jobs that want to work part-time, take care of kids, and that kind of thing. So we make it as accessible as we possibly can. We had a majority of non-traditional students when I started. Now we have probably more traditional students than non-traditional students. So that population has changed a lot. But we've helped a lot of students get through this program. If you go to elementary schools, especially in Newton McDonald County, a lot of elementary buildings have a majority of our graduates in those buildings now being teachers. And we have master teachers and at least one administrator that's come out of our program. So and principals know we turn out good teachers, and they call us wanting to hire people. So we've been very proud of this program. It's made a big impact for our local schools and for our local populations, and also brought people into the Missouri State system who could never have gone to Springfield to go to school. So for agriculture, we have the Bachelor of Applied Science in Gen Ag, which has been around really since 2002. We had a grant called Pathways, which offered our junior senior level ag courses at a number of different 2-year campuses, including Mountain Grove and West Plains, NEO A&M over the border in Oklahoma, and some other places as well. And so that's continued on. And so that's a very flexible degree. Students just need 35 upper division hours in ag, basically, plus some lower division requirements they can meet at their community college. And so we have some students that are doing that, and that's really flexible. We are really excited that students told us they wanted some more options. And so we were able to add, working with Dr. Ramal in the College of Agriculture, 2 tracks in agricultural business recently. And so through a combination of our seated classes, which are mainly Zoom classroom to classroom conference classes, they're seated, but the teacher may be in Springfield or somewhere else. And we have students in multiple locations join through Zoom within the classroom. Through a combination of those classes and online, we can get them to different tracks in agricultural business. And so students have been really excited about that. And so we think that'll be a growing program in the next few years. And so, and that's been very helpful for students, especially the ones that can't relocate, that aren't traditional students and just pick up and move. It's been very good to have that option. We mentioned the 2+2 plans during Melissa's presentation, and Jamie's just done a phenomenal job shepherding those through. And we have a number of those from Crowder. Of course, we have many from OTC as well. I can't emphasize enough how beneficial that website is. And I've spread the word to Crowder advisors all the time, because we can all be on the same page working with our community college partners if they know what their students need before they get to us. And the saddest student stories I have are ones where students were not prepared, didn't understand about the prerequisites and things like that, just thought they could show up and sign up for classes and start their junior year, and they didn't realize, even though you have your associates, there are a number of other classes you need to do too. And so we try to head that off at the pass. This is a great way to do that. So if you work with any advisors at the 2-year level, make sure that they know about this, because we're adding to it all the time. I say we, mostly Jamie, but this page is growing all the time. This is just a sampling of the majors that are available at Crowder, but there's an OTC part of that page and some other colleges as well. So anyway, we've been working really hard to make sure that there are pathways worked out for Crowder students. And Crowder's become one of our bigger transfer schools. If you look at the statistics, and they're in the top 5 for transfer. Even though we get a lot of students from St. Louis and Kansas City, Crowder's right there. And we're making more pathways all the time for those students to be able to get to our campus. And a lot of the times it's about students not even realizing what the possibilities are and what our majors are, and not realizing they can start, at a local community college campus and end up with a degree in fashion merchandising, or something like that. And so this really helps them to see what is possible. And so they've been great tools working with community college students. So what I do on a daily basis depends on random events that happen. I am kind of responsible for everything that happens with the Missouri State classes in my area. Most of my time has been actually managing these off-campus deliveries of courses. I am making sure that we have the technology infrastructure that we need, that we have the physical infrastructure, working with our community college partners on facilities and things like that. Also work with students, answer student questions, work with our teachers. We hire per-course instructors on site much of the time. So making sure that they're hired by the department, they've been vetted appropriately, that our classes that are being taught follow the same standards as the ones in Springfield, that we're all on the same page there. So lots of administrative duties that way. I also do a lot of advisement. I am the advisor of record for my elementary education students. So I am their advisor. However, I do a lot of informal advising for other majors as well. And students will just walk into my office and want to know, hey, I'm thinking about majoring in business at Missouri State. What do I need to know? Or they have questions about classes will transfer. And I can work with them a lot. And I'll have students from all kinds of different backgrounds, social work sometimes, or finance, or teaching biology, you name it. They all come through my door. And so I don't know the answer to all their questions, but I am their kind of nexus of contacts with the university. I can put them in touch with anyone at Springfield they need to talk to answer their questions. And so I'm kind of the visible presence of Missouri State on the Crowder College campus, and people walk past my office, see the bear head on the door, and they'll come in and ask questions about Missouri State. And so I think we've done a lot to raise the visibility. We do a lot of recruiting, even for programs that aren't really technically my responsibility. I've given talks about the BSW program, which we used to have seated classes in that years ago, but it's an online program now. It's technically not an outreach off-campus program, but I still give talks to that to recruit students. And so just helping wherever I can to help students find out what they need to know about Missouri State and get them transferred to us whenever possible. I'm a liaison with our Crowder administrators. A lot of times I'll have ideas for, hey, let's have another degree program, or what would be helpful in getting students ready to transfer into this major. And so sometimes I'm the first point of contact for that, and I'll help get those conversations started. And we just identify opportunities and problems. Sometimes folks in Springfield don't realize what students are wanting out here in the field, so we can be their voice for that. Sometimes we'll find a problem with a bottleneck with a class or something that's not transferring like it should, and we can help work that out. So just smoothing the process for getting students into Missouri State is really what I do. And we do test proctoring too. I want to mention that. That's not as big a deal as it used to be years ago, but we do proctor tests for students that actually live in the local Neosho area and take online courses. So many different things. So if I can be of help in any way, if you have questions about anything at Crowder College that's going on there, students that are transferring from there that you're working with that may be having trouble, I would love to visit with you. My contact information is right there. I'm located on the main Crowder campus. I visit the other campuses as well. So I would love to visit with you if you just have general questions about, students are having problems or anything else that might be going on. I did want to mention, though, I'm only going to be around through the end of December. So I'm leaving Missouri State at the end of this calendar year. So next spring, there will be someone else in that seat, hopefully. The search process is underway. But anyway, I will be signing off at the end of this year. But until then, I would love to hear from you. If there's anything I can be of service in helping work with students coming out of Crowder College or anything that direction. So thanks very much.
Thanks for letting us talk about Missouri State outreach. When I first took this job, outreach, the first thing people would ask, even on campus, well, what exactly does outreach do? So I'm always glad to talk about what we do here in the Lebanon Central region. So let me talk to you a little bit about that. The Central region is composed of the Lebanon site and Waynesville site and Camdenton site. The Lebanon site has been here for about 20 plus years, and it's moved to a new location when OTC received their new buildings as gifts a few years ago. Beautiful buildings on I-44. If you're going north towards St. Louis, you'll notice that. We moved into that building with them. So we have a 4-room, 2-classroom campus, basically, and we're great and glad to partner with them. Kind of like Larry said, OTC here for us are close partners. Their navigators, as they call them, as well as their administration, do everything possible to help us within the guidelines. So there's not a day hardly that goes by that I don't talk to their president, Dusty Childress, and we work on how things can work even better for our site here. So a couple of things that I think we've been able to do here that maybe are a little unique. So when I first came here, like Larry also said, the students that come here, I feel like we have a mission for them, because many of those, if not all, are either married, have children, have jobs they have to have. They can't go to a normal traditional college, even in Springfield. So right off the bat, you can see that we need to find a way that we can help them. So we do offer the only night elementary program at Missouri State. So our program starts some classes as early as 4:30 and some last until nearly 10 o'clock at night. So while that's still a burden, that gives a chance for students that really want to earn an elementary education degree to go to school here. So that takes some strategy to work with, and Melissa does a good job in making those schedules work so those students can participate and go to school. The students that come here generally need financial aid. So they not only need the traditional financial aid, they need the transfer scholarship, which is awesome for them that qualify. But when I first saw that, I thought, how can we retain and help our students the most? And so we had a donor that I knew, and he was very interested in our programs, and he was able to give us a substantial amount of money through the foundation. So for the last 7 years that I've been here, we've been able to give thousands of dollars to these students that normally would not have those dollars to go to school. Many could not stay in school or even attend school. And it's the Williams Scholarships. We do a scholarship ceremony every year. They'll call them the Williams Scholars and make a big deal out of it. And they're happy to get that. And we're so glad that we have a donor that'll provide that and help these kids go ahead and go to school. Also, that same donor provided initially one of our classrooms. We turned that into a computer lab. And while that's not as important as it was back in the day 7 years ago with the hard drives and so forth that we have in there, we now use that for other things, meeting rooms. We use it for still for our students to come in and use it as a study lounge, and it's still very, very well used. So we have one of those and provided that. This donor also wanted us to be on cutting edge technology. So recently, in the last 5 years, he has bought and donated 2 70-inch touchscreen TVs for our classrooms. So they are state of the art. So when our students leave here, they've been trained on those, and they go to Lebanon particularly, or Camdenton, Waynesville, and they already know how to operate those. And that's a plus for those when they're hiring, they can bring that up and say, hey, I know how to do that. It seems to be something that administrators like. It's just another plus for them. We do have a staff that includes the way we do it here. I'm the administrator, and then I have a staff advisor, Tim Tucker, who's just come on board. We've had one in the past, Carol Bauer, and he meets with every student. I couldn't believe today we got 9 incomplete applications for Camdenton. We're going to jump all over those. That's a big growing area for us. And we meet very closely with every student, answer all their questions that we can, and make sure they go to Missouri State. And then I also have a facilitator, a student facilitator generally, Dallas Hall. He's a student. He'll be here for another semester, and they do a great job. We've had those during the years that help out during the time that we're not in the office. And then I also have started an ambassador program here. So we have 2 ambassadors each semester, and I hire one that's new coming in from OTC, and then I hire another one that's in their second semester here at Missouri State. They're required to work just 3 hours in the office, but they go with us on college fairs since they're back in vogue now. We did one last week, doing another one here coming up Thursday in Waynesville, or anything else we need to do in order to make our students feel good. OTC here at this location is down a little bit in their students, as most community colleges are right now. They're down in the 400 plus range. They were pushing 600 just a few years ago. But we go in every elementary or every education classroom and sell our wares. We're right down the hallway, and that's what we say. We're located, our banners, our information is located throughout this building. And Tim's office is actually right up by the front door. They gave us an office up there for that. So we get them coming in and hopefully going out. And it's worked very, very well. OTC has been very good partners to work with. We have a huge sign right here on Interstate 44 that has OTC and Missouri State. It's about a 40-foot, 50-foot tall sign lighted at night. And we just got our new window clings. If Catherine and Breer listen, they're bear faces, growling bear faces that meet the students as they walk in our separate doorway leading outside to campus. So they've been very good with us that way. In Waynesville, we have our own classroom now. This is our really first full year having several students there. And Maggie there, the director at OTC, has given us our own classroom, and she told us to bear it up. So we're going to do that with maroon and stuff and get that all situated. We also have a master's class that's meeting there this semester. So we're glad to have that Missouri State influence that far up I-44 towards St. Louis, which we really hadn't had before. And then we opened our Camdenton location about 5 years ago, but really students this past 2 years is the first time we've had actual elementary ed students there. I work closely with Cody in getting that building. I was approached by the Camdenton mayor and city administrator. I knew him a long time. They had an empty building, and we have really made that a modern state-of-the-art classroom. So we partner with Cody on that, and Laura working our technology down there. And so now we're getting students. And as I said, I think we have about 5 students there now, but sounds like we had 9 incomplete applications submitted. So we hopefully that's about to take off. Besides OTC, we work also with State Fair Community College and their location out of Lake of the Ozarks at Osage Beach. We make trips there, we go there. We've got to be very good friends with their administrator, and we don't get a lot yet, but maybe they'll be coming. So you just have to open every door. In 2 years, as most of you know, student numbers are looked at maybe dropping substantially. So Tim and I are trying to prepare on how we can get more students in here. What kind of strategies can we use to attract more students? And so we're working on that right now. One of the ways is our technology, or excuse me, our class that meets at the high school has several elementary students in that. And we're trying to find out a way if we can get those to have classes just in our building. And though they would have to go to OTC first, that's fine. We get 50 students meeting in our classroom on a regular basis. They'll be used to that environment, and we can get in front of them several times in order to tell them about our program. So we're gonna have to think about those type of things to retain students and keep our numbers up. That's really just about it on a day-to-day basis. We only have our one program seated right now, elementary education. We do a lot of the proctoring. We do a lot of those things. We also are right here on I-44 and this close to Springfield. We're in all things Missouri State Information Center. We have people in here every day asking something about Missouri State. So we do our very best to help them and get them where they need to go, either whether it's here or whether it's in Springfield. That's about all that I have, Melissa. Is there any questions or anything that I could help anybody with? Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks, Gib.
All right. I'm going to talk just to try to get through here and the time we have allotted. I appreciate the opportunity to present today and talk about our site. My operation here is very similar to what Larry and Gib do. I've been here about 16 years, I guess, since 2005. Our program started here in actually in 1998 with the general business degree program. That was our first distance learning program here in West Plains. The MSU West Plains campus is a sister campus for Missouri State Springfield. I'm sure most people know that, but they are a two-year campus that offers associate degrees on this campus. So most of the students that we get here are through the MSU West Plains system. And since we're about 2 hours from everywhere, that's about the only campus that we get students from. We do work with some area colleges. There's one in just across the state line in Arkansas. It's Ozarka College. We do get some of our students from them, but for the most part, most of our student population comes from Missouri State West Plains. This first slide is our building. We've been privileged to have this beautiful building given to or donated by the Gone family. They are a family here in town, here in West Plains, that are have a history of being educators. So they're very interested in our education program here. And they donated an old house that's part of our offices here. And then we had some things, classrooms and like a computer lab and things like that added to it. So let me just start off here, who we are. Can everybody still see this okay? I can't see anybody, so I'm just checking.
Yes,
Yes.
see it.
Okay. All right. Who we are. I am the Regional Outreach Administrator here for the Southeast region. I have an assistant, a part-time assistant, Amber Johnston. She helps me with a lot of the recruiting and stuff that we do here, a lot of the communication that we get out to students. I do have 3 distance learning facilitators that help with our Zoom classes that we have here. They help the students with any materials that they have to get back and forth between the instructor and the student. And then they just make sure the equipment's going well during those in-class sessions. We do have in Gone Hall, we do have teacher education faculty and staff as well, because that is our largest program here, the elementary ed program, bachelor's. Anita Cavett is our education advisor, and she sits right next to me in the office next door, and she advises all of our education students here in bachelor's degrees. And then she also advises students through the MSU West Plains campus who are coming into our program. So it's we do have a nice partnership with MSU West Plains, and our presence here is important to try to help filter those students into our degree programs here. And having Anita here is very beneficial in doing that, because we actually do a lot of recruiting on this campus, and she helps with that as well. Lakita Eagleman is the administrative assistant here. She's been here quite a while. She actually works for College of Education. And then we have Dr. Jane Ward. She's a full-time College of Ed faculty member here and works for the elementary ed program as well. And she's been here before any of us. I think she started here maybe in 2000 or 99 perhaps. I'm not sure exactly the year, but she's been here a long time. She's our only full-time faculty that we have here on site, but we do have about maybe 3 to 5 per course faculty as well for that education program that is primarily seated here on this campus. Basically, what we do here in Gone Hall, the philosophy here is start here and stay here and finish these advanced degrees in West Plains. So since we do live so far away from main campus, or we're right here, we're about at least almost 2 hours even from Jonesboro, which would be ASU. Students it's a benefit for students in our area to be able to do this. We cover about 7 to 10 counties of students that commute here for degrees. And a lot of them are in very rural areas. Jobs are limited in a lot of some of the surrounding areas. So your schools are going to be your largest employer. And that's where we get a lot of this students from our elementary ed program interested in getting this degree and going back and teaching in their rural school system, which is really important. Again, we provide, a variety of bachelor's, master's degrees. Our seated programs are primarily the elementary ed. Then we have, agriculture. We have primarily the same degrees like that Larry mentioned. Our general agriculture, ag business, things like that are seated as well. Students who get an AA in general studies or an AAT or some AS degrees do transfer to Springfield to cover all the general education required. So like I said, West Plains is a big draw for us for students. And it's kind of unique because since West Plains, MSU West Plains and MSU Springfield is part of the same system, we do have some extra perks there in transferring our students. So, we try to accommodate that, and it's nice for our students to have some added benefit there of being in the same system. We do serve a lot of traditional and non-traditional students within this 10-county region. We do have some students again coming out of Arkansas. My role is very similar to Larry's and Gibbs. I assist students with transfer and admissions assistance to MSU Springfield. I request transcripts from MSU West Plains to send to Springfield for students. Anita does that as well. I work with students with financial aid issues, consortium agreements, a lot of things like that. I do coordinate commencement for off-campus students in West Plains, because our Springfield students can actually opt to attend graduation here at the West Plains ceremony that's held in the spring. And so they are able to walk here instead of in Springfield. Some opt to do that because their families are closer here. So I coordinate all of that for them, and then I attend commencement and help them with that whole process. I do a lot of recruiting and marketing like Larry and Gibb do. I advise students in some degree programs. Like Larry, I do a lot of informal advising. Students come in, they want to know various degrees that they can do, and I try to help them as much as I can. And then if, I do have questions, I send them on to Springfield or connect them with an advisor in Springfield. I am an advisor for the MSU West Plains campus for business students because they do filter those into our online program as well. And I help coordinate course schedules with academic departments here in between West Plains and Springfield and some of the West Plains classes that are part of our degree program. This building, again, I put another picture there. The building's just beautiful. We started out in a really old house. So having this building is very nice because all of our programs are encompassed in this one building now. We used to be spread out across the West Plains campus in different buildings. And now we have our presence here, and we have bare heads on the building, and it just really gives the students a nice presence of being a Springfield student here. You can see the slide there. We have computer lab, lounge area for students, and we have to date we've graduated about 1,037 students in bachelor's and master's degree programs since 2003. So we do have a lot of students graduating. That really helps with our economy here, with jobs and needs here in the area. And then, like I said, some of our students have a lot of access and benefits here to the actual West Plains campus. They can use the library here. They can use any of the facilities on the campus here that they have access to here. So it's really a nice partnership that we have. Some of these slides just talk about our course delivery. We have 7 classrooms in Gone Hall. 5 of those are Zoom classrooms. We have 2 traditional classrooms. We have about 25 to 35 classes per semester. These are some of the more popular degree programs that we offer, our bachelor's degrees. I'm not going to go into a lot of those, but we do offer, a lot of our students do like some of the online degree programs as well. So we do a lot of transitioning students into those programs also. Here's some of our popular master's degrees that we offer here and that students are interested in. And counseling has been a big draw in the past. We're trying to build that program up a little bit more here lately. The Master of Social Work is a big one. It's online now, but we have a huge need for social workers in our area. And now we do have the BSW now as well online. So that's really helpful. So that's, pretty much, this covers a lot of job areas that are in need in our West Plains area. I guess our long range vision, there's another picture of our building. We're wanting to, continue to grow our student population. We always are looking for other opportunities for degree areas to offer here in West Plains. And evening degree programs are kind of popular with a lot of folks that are working. And, working with area schools is key as well. So I know I kind of rushed through that, but I think we're running out of time. So if anybody has any questions at all, definitely give me a call or shoot me an email. I'd be happy to answer any questions. Again, we're just thankful to be here on this campus and be able to work with students here and have the opportunity to offer these programs at a distance. I drove my entire degree at least an hour and a half away for about 8 years up through my master's program. So I do understand the benefit of having these programs locally here for some of these people that can't do that, that have families or just simply can't move or commute to get some of these programs. So thanks for letting me present, and it's good to see everybody. Thank you.
Well, thank you. A special thanks to Melissa and Jamie, as well as Gib, Larry, and Deanna for presenting today. We appreciate the opportunity to learn about the programs offered on the different campuses and the students that you all have the opportunity to interact with. For those of you still in the Zoom room, as a reminder, this session has been recorded and will be posted on our Most State Advising YouTube channel. So if there are others that you know of who could benefit from information shared in this advisor forum, please share with those colleagues. The video should be posted within a few days. Again, final reminder, tomorrow will be added again at noon for an additional advisor forum. That's the Career Advising Faculty Panel on Best Practices. Thank you all for being here today. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon, and I hope to see many of you again tomorrow. Bye.
Thanks, Russ.